Happy Monday. I have the girls with me. I'm going to Dunkin' quick. I have a therapy appointment at 11. I just dropped. What? Go where? There's a bus coming. You gotta wait. We're going though. I'm freezing. It's only like 63 degrees here. I just dropped Kegan off at school. I'm gonna hit Dunkin' real quick because I don't know. I need a morning pick-me-up. Oh my gosh. The school traffic back that way is terrible. There's cops everywhere this morning, which is a good thing. You know, because we always want the kids to be safe when they're going back to school. I dropped Kegan off early this morning. It's only 8:35. I am not feeling it this morning, guys. I got up at like 5 o'clock. So I have my therapy appointment this morning. The girls are both going with me. This is gonna be great. Guys, for being a Monday morning at like 8:30, there's surprisingly like no traffic. And being the first day back to school, there's like no traffic out here, which is fantastic. Because I was worried about being stuck in traffic, which I think I'm gonna go home the highway instead of the main road near the school because that's probably gonna be a little disastrous. And we were worried that there was gonna be a lot of construction this morning. There was not any construction. They were not out working. Hallelujah. But I'm not gonna hold my breath because you know that's not gonna be an every morning type thing. Dear Duncan, please do not have a line out the wazoo because I just want to get my coffee and go home. Please. Usually, if I get here before 9 o'clock, it's not bad. There is no one. There's one car. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. You too. Oh my God, there's no traffic still. I had to text Carrie back because he texted, asked everyone was up and ready to go. Oh, you've got to be joking me. Yeah, that was smart. Well, that's nice. Just go ahead. Pass everybody, old. Wow. I'm hoping that this weather is here to stay, but I know likely it's not. And I kind of want to be able to do a little bit more swimming with the kids, but come on, traffic. I just want to get up to this light so I can turn. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I'm getting over. Y'all are a bunch. And there's a tractor trailer. I ain't trying to sit behind him, so. There's nothing. Got the green light. Got the green light. So, let me just tell you how weird this is, okay? So, the other day I was on Facebook. And now, I told you guys that when I did work, I worked for a local inner city school district, right? Well, a few of my coworkers were like, you know, older. Not older, like not old, like old enough to be my mom. Well, the other day, one of the women that I like was basically like my mentor. She posted something on Facebook. So she posted about Mountain Dew, right? So it got me thinking about one of our other coworkers that we used to work with, that I had like door duty with for an entire year. Like we used to have to stand on the one side of the school and let the kids in and then stand there after school when the kids would leave just to make sure there was nothing going on, you know? Well, it got me to thinking about her. So I'm like, oh. So I go to look her up on Facebook and I'm like, on her Facebook it says remembering and then her name and I'm like, what the F? Guys, she passed away and I didn't even know. It just showed that she like, I don't know what happened to her, but she was not that old. She was like my mom's age when she passed, which it'll be 2 years in October since she passed and I didn't even know. It's 8:47. It's not even 9 o'clock, and we are home. I get to go in and get some shiz done before Keegan's at school, Mama. Are you okay? Is that okay? Do you miss Keg? Where's brother? Did we take him to school? Good morning, guys. I am looking a little, not any different than I usually look. I slept in makeup though, so. I just dropped Keegan off at his school. We had his back to school night, like meet the team. It used to be like strictly like open house, but they're doing something a little more lax now, I guess. That was cool. And they had a local ice cream vendor who does like, they have like an ice cream truck, but they don't do like soft serve. They do like regular hard ice cream. And they were there, and they gave the kids, for each kid that attended with their parents, they gave them a 50-cent off coupon, whatever, for ice cream, which I thought was pretty cool. Still, for 2 small dishes of ice cream, I paid like $8, but Keegan that's why he went with, he wanted the ice cream, so. But we met his teacher. He has the same teacher that he had in 4th grade. She moved to 6th grade this year. And Carrie actually went with, which was surprising because he usually doesn't go to that stuff. And my mom kept the girls for us. But so his teacher's pretty nice. I knew pretty much what to expect from her because, like I said, he's had her before for 4th grade. And her counterpart, because they have what they call switch teachers. One teacher teaches like math, and usually science. His regular teacher is just teaching math, but she didn't really touch on that too much. But his switch teacher is a younger guy, actually, which he's never had like a guy teacher or male teacher other than for some specials. So it should be interesting. They both seem very laid back, which is good because, well, Keegan's older now, so it's not really a thing. But when he was younger, he could not really handle somebody with a harder approach, which is funny because I'm such a hard ass but I mean, he was babied for a while, a little bit. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I babied him a lot. I did not start getting to be like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like he used to get in trouble and stuff, but I just wasn't like, oh, my little baby, are you okay? When he got a boo-boo, Aaliyah jumps off of something and hurts stuff. I'm like, you shouldn't have been doing that. It's just, you know, each kid has to be parented differently because they aren't the same child and all that jazz. But anyway, so this should be interesting for him to have a guy teacher. The guy teacher seems super laid back, even more laid back than his regular, like the woman teacher he has. So, should be a good school year. Fingers crossed. Again, on my way to Dunkin'. Surprise, surprise. Actually, guys, I have never had a pumpkin spice anything. No coffee, no nothing. So we're going to give it a whirl. And this is not typical for me because I am not adventurous when it comes to my coffee.
Hi, go ahead, may I help you?
Hi, can I have a large pumpkin spice iced coffee?
Large iced coffee, pumpkin flavor. Do you want cream and sugar in that?
Yes, please.
Okay, anything else?
That's it. I'm adventurous today, guys. I got a large, so hopefully this biatch is good. Because I've never done pumpkin spice. I used to drink hot chai tea lattes from Sheets. But, oh, thank you very much. You too. Guys, you're about to see this first. You think I'm gonna like it? I don't know. I'm not huge. Like, I like pumpkin pie. I'm definitely not. I've never really had, like I said, pumpkin flavor anything. Okay, so here she is. Doesn't look any different than my regular. It has a nice flavor to it. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not something I'd probably drink on a daily basis, but it's all right. So there's that. I mean, maybe here and there I'd splurge on one, but very pumpkin pie flavored. But not something I'd be like, oh my God, pumpkin spice is back. Let's go get some. No. I'm not that basic, guys. I love my Dunkin', but I'm not that basic. Juvenile. I'm not in a juvenile kind of morning mood this morning. Guys, these shops that I told you they were building in our area, we're getting a Five Below, which I'm kind of excited about because I do love Five Below, kind of like at the holidays and stuff, just because, or anytime really, because I mean, I bought Kegan phone cases there. I've gotten him like quite a few things. I like getting my laundry baskets from there. Like a few years ago, I got, when Aaliyah was born actually, I went and purchased wash baskets for them, and I'm going to tell you why. Their wash baskets are the super thick, hard plastic, and they're the taller wash baskets. And I still have them. It's like 3.5 years plus later, whatever. 3.5 years. Well, actually, I bought it before Leah was born, so it's been almost 4 years that we've had them, and they look brand new. And especially Kegan's basket, he stuffs that thing to the very top. And, you're gonna come up here and the lane closes every mother effing day. Yeah, let's speed up to the very end and then cut everybody off. Oh, I used to be. So, ladies. Oh, sorry. I didn't want 80s music. Let me know, ladies, if you're in your 30s, or maybe even younger. I'm not really positive. I just know for my part of my generation, were you? And you know you have to choose. You know you have to choose. I did like both, but BSB was where it was at. Who were you a fan of, NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? Because Backstreet Boys was where it's at. Guys, I was not really big into boy bands until a friend of mine, let me tell you something. She was obsessed. And if you're watching this, I don't want to say your name because I don't know if it's okay or not. So, she was obsessed. Her entire room was covered in, I've never seen anybody's room like that in my life when we were in middle school. Her room was literally, there was not a piece of wall to be seen. It was covered. She was a super BSB fan. And that's who really got me into like Backstreet Boys anyway. Because she used to like record their, she recorded like their, like in the, this is going to show my age here. Oh my God. She had on VHS, their live concert. I think it was on videotape. Pretty positive it was on videotape. Their live concert. And sometimes I'd go over to her house after school and watch that with her. You ever just think about that? Like certain songs just bring back memories in your life? Well, this is one of those that I'm like, oh my God, it takes me back to like middle school. Yeah, I can't do Carrie's pumpkin. Speaking of pumpkins, Smashing Pumpkins, singing a Fleetwood Mac song. Like I said about my husband, he has an eclectic taste. I do, guys, I really do gravitate towards like hip hop, R&B, that kind of stuff. Just because that's just what I've always listened to. I mean, I told you, I love my 80s hairband music too. Like 80s love ballads and stuff. I do like that, so. I'll belt out a good Whitney Houston cooking dinner sometimes. But anyway. Come on, lady. Woo. All right. Oh, that was another song. Yeah. I just like music. I can't sing for but I'll effing pretend I can. I used to want to be a singer when I was a kid. Who didn't want to? I remember standing on my mom and dad's blanket box thing. Like they had one of those chests with blankets in it at the bottom of their bed. And that used to be my stage. I used to get up there and sing. I thought it was Mariah Carey. Oh, Lord, that dream was killed real quick. And I realized I'm like tone deaf. You know what? Some of today, like the new school rap, like the stuff that my son listens to, that's like super over auto-tuned, and they talk about the dumbest crap ever, like not even real life stuff, most of them. But I do like Post Malone. He's not, he's on the radio right now. I've never heard this one though. But I do like him. There's just something about I don't think he's attractive. I think he needs to get himself together a little bit. But hey, he is who he is, and that's the thing I think I like about him, is that he is who he is, right? Is that a child? He should probably be going to school. Okay then, all right. Glad this whole video turned into a pumpkin spice latte car karaoke type stuff here. Rihanna, yes girl. Mary J. Blige! Okay, I'm done. I gotta get my life together. This pumpkin spice got fried my brain or something here. Anyway, guys. Hello, everybody. Good morning. I am counting cash. Well, okay then. I just dropped Kagan off at school, and yes, I have on the same sweatshirt that I had on yesterday when I dropped him off, because it was in the living room and I was in a hurry. I kind of want to do Dunkin' today, but I kind of don't, because I'm wondering if Dunkin' is the reason why I'm getting migraines. I had such a migraine yesterday, guys, like, and I tried a pumpkin spice iced coffee, and I'm almost wondering if whatever it is that they put in the iced coffees, like the flavoring, if that's what's giving me headaches. I don't know. It's like I don't have a headache now. I don't know, but these headaches are absolutely horrendous that I've been getting. Anyway, guys, yesterday was such a bad day. Like, such a bad day. And I usually try to find like the good, and sometimes I try to find the good in the day, even if you're having, like, you know what, you're allowed to have bad days. Everyone's allowed to have bad days, right? Sometimes some days it's harder to find the good in those days. So, and yesterday was one of those days where it's like, it just was not a good day. Just not a good day. So, when I got up this morning, I said what I was thankful for and told myself that today's going to be a good day. So, hopefully that happens. I'm gonna go get some coffee, get home, cook the girls breakfast. Well, cook Aaliyah breakfast, and start our day. I have so much laundry to get done, as usual, but that's besides the point. So I guess this will be a coffee chat video. Whoop, whoop. But let me get my, we can chit chat, but let me get my Dunkin'. I touched on biryani having half pies, but guys, I have like really, really bad anxiety, like really bad anxiety, and I like am a worrier, and I really worry about a lot of things. Like Aaliyah was hospitalized, not this past May, but she was in the hospital because she got sick. She was only in for 24 hours because they needed to give her IV fluids, and it was a whole ordeal. And I was super hard on myself about it, even though I did everything I could at home to prevent her, from, going to the hospital and being sick. I was trying everything I could at home. It's just what happened. And I was like, I placed a lot of guilt on myself. Like, I don't know. I was just not whatever. So now I'm always paranoid about if she gets sick, that she's going to end up in the hospital, which I know the likelihood of that happening is slim. Typically we can treat a normal virus or cold at home, but in my mind, it's like that's where my brain goes. So I'm like a germaphobe about stuff, and I was always a little bit of a germaphobe, like as far as school germs went, because I worked at a school, so I know just how easy it is to pass sicknesses back and forth. And Kegan always had hand sanitizer on his backpack, and I was constantly after him about washing his hands when he came home, and stuff like that. So with Brianni now, I'm paranoid that she's allergic to everything, even though it's only been proven that she, like right now, that she's allergic to oats. It's okay that I'm like that because we don't know what she's allergic to yet, so it's not like I'm like being completely irrational about it. But I also know that this kind of worrying and stuff is not good for me and my health. But it is what it is, right? I don't know. So I want to touch more about the F-pie situation when I get out of this Dunkin' Donuts line. Don't say you're welcome or anything. I have been in just I don't know what's been going on with me. I've just been in like this freaking funk lately. I don't want to be in it, but oh Jesus, I almost freaking... It's probably the first and only time you'll ever see me get a small coffee here. But anyway, guys, so I've been in like this funk lately, and I don't know if it's like... Which is weird for me because usually this time of year, I'm not like this. Back to Brianni. Okay, so she was diagnosed by her pediatrician with F-pies because she had a severe, she had 3 reactions to oatmeal. Every time she had oatmeal, every time she ingested oatmeal, she had a reaction, okay? The second time she had oatmeal, the reaction was the worst. It was worse than the first time, and it was worse than the third time. So, oh my God, that is such an annoying thing. They need to repave that. Sorry, bus, gotta get through. Anyway, so her second reaction was absolutely horrendous. So, the first time I gave her oatmeal, okay, she was fine right after, and she seemed to love it. So I was like, oh, yay, she's gonna like baby food too, because Aaliyah was a struggle. She ate baby food here and there, but typically, like, she was eating people food, like regular people food. Not really early, but early on. She wanted what we had, and I wasn't gonna not feed her it, but anyway, that's besides the point. So I gave her the oatmeal, and about 2 hours later, she like projectile vomited a few times, but that was it. So I was like, okay, well maybe she ate too much. That's what I thought. And she was fine after that. So I was like, all right, she ate too much. So fast forward, I was like, well, I'm not going to give it to her just in case. Maybe I'm not going to give it to her the next day or anything. Just let me not, maybe she wasn't ready. Maybe I gave her too much. So I was like, let me wait, just, to be on the safe side. Maybe she wasn't ready. I waited a few weeks. While we were at a wedding, and the wedding started at 4. We didn't get there till after 4, and it was over by like 10. But we were home before the wedding even ended. So we weren't gone more than 4 or 5 hours. And my mom had the kids, and I was texting her back and forth, and she was saying that, I pumped, and I had milk that was frozen. So my mom was like, well, she don't want to take the bottle. And I'm like, well, all right, maybe she's not hungry, whatever. And I was like, oh my God, you know what, Mom? I was like, why don't you just try, I have baby oatmeal there. If you want to mix some of the breast milk in with oatmeal, then you can do that. I was like, Mom, you know what? I was like, if she doesn't want the bottle, maybe she'll eat some oatmeal for you. Just, she's not hungry or whatever. So I'm like, all right, she obviously isn't hungry or whatever. Well, so my mom says she like didn't even eat like a full baby spoon full. Like it was, she's like, oh, she didn't really want it. She took a little tiny bite of it, but that was it. And I was like, oh, okay. I came home, obviously, like at like, I think it was like 9 something we got home. And I nursed her. And as soon as she got done nursing, she started vomiting. And I have never in my life seen a kid puke the way that she was puking. Like, Kagan had a stomach virus when he was a little over a year old. And even that, or maybe he was like almost 2, I don't know. And even that was not as bad as this. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on? Was the milk sitting out? Like, was the breast milk sitting out that she tried to give her? Or did she not heat it the right way? Did she not swirl it? Did she shake? Like, I was trying to go through my head to think about what it could have been that made her vomit like that. So I'm like, wow, this is bad. And then, like, she was vomiting for like, I don't even know. It was a while. And I'm like, what the heck? So I'm like, maybe she ate, like, maybe the milk was bad. Maybe that's what it was. And then my mom said she didn't really nap. So I'm like, okay, well, she got really, like, tired. And she just kept, like, dozing off. And then she'd wake back up. And then she was, like, in and out of it. And I'm just like, okay, she just was throwing up a lot. She's probably just tired. Which now I know. Oh my God, it makes me, I could puke thinking back to that night because I'm like, I couldn't get her to nurse then. She didn't really want to eat. Like, she didn't want to nurse. And she kept, like, kind of, I want to say, like, an hour or so went by where she was, like, kind of, like, she vomited. And then she, was, like, dry heaving, kind of. And then she didn't want to nurse. And I kept trying to nurse her because I'm like, well, she just threw up a whole lot. I don't want her to get dehydrated. So finally, like, I want to say, like, about 2 hours after she was puking, she started, nursed sometime during the night. Like, sometime during the night, I got her to finally nurse. And she woke up the next morning, and she was absolutely fine. Like, it was like nothing had happened. And I'm just like, what the hell? Like, this is so bizarre. So, long story short, that's when they got, like, and then it happened again after that, but it was only like a few times she vomited and then she stopped. But it was still, it's like violently vomiting. And I'm just like, what the hell is happening? It is like one of the scariest things. And I know kids can get diarrhea, like horrible diarrhea from it, as well as like blood in their stools and all kinds of stuff. Like it, and some kids have multiple triggers, which that's what they call the food that the kids can't have, is like a trigger. So Brownie's trigger right now is oatmeal, which I'm terrified to give her anything else because of this. And they also told me just to not, they didn't say, hey, don't feed your kid. They didn't say that. I don't feel comfortable giving her anything because we don't have an emergency plan in place in case this happens again. Because honestly, that night, had I known this was FPIES and had I known how serious it can get, I would have taken her into the emergency room. Like, thank God she like perked back up and like nursed and stuff and didn't end up like extremely dehydrated or completely lethargic. She was like the beginning of being lethargic, I guess. Like, I don't know. I've never in my life, like, I just, it makes me, like I said, it makes me sick thinking about it because I wasn't educated on FPIES. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people have never even heard of it, which I was one of them. Like, it's a very rare food allergy and it can be very serious. So it has me like so sick And some kids are allergic to, like, their allergy is so severe that when their mom ingests, like if they're breastfed and the mom ingests, like, okay, Brianni's allergic to oats. So say I eat like oatmeal and she, that's passed through the breast milk to her. She did not have a reaction to it when she was smaller, when I would eat oatmeal. Because oatmeal, actually, that's terrible for any mom that's breastfeeding if your child gets it, because oatmeal's great to boost your milk supply and help keep your supply up. But some kids get sick from their mom's breast milk, and that happens to them, like exactly what happened to Brianni. And I couldn't imagine that. I'm hoping that she doesn't have any other triggers. I'm praying that she doesn't, because I just want her to be able to, eat and be healthy, and you know what I mean? Because some kids end up with like feeding tubes, and you got to do what you got to do to make sure your kid can survive. And if the feeding tube is what is implemented and put in place for that child, and that child needs it to survive, then by all means, that's what you do. But I'm just hoping that's not a route that, we have to go. I'm hoping that she doesn't have, the worst of the worst. I mean, now, I will say, before I knew that she was like F-pies or whatever, had F-pies, I did let her have like a little bite of a banana, like actual banana, and she didn't vomit from that. And I may or may not have also left her try an Outshine bar. Great parenting over here, and she didn't throw up from those. So my fingers are crossed that maybe this is just an oat thing. And I mean, then obviously we'll have to keep her away from oatmeal and anything with oats in it and all that stuff. And, because these kids and her included, the reaction she had was vomit to shock. She went straight vomit to shock. But I wanted to come on here, talk to you guys about what's been going on with her, and I just have a lot on my plate right now as far as she's concerned. I don't know. And then what'll happen is, in like a year or so, like once she hits like after a year old, I think I read it's like after 18 months. Now we're gonna have to have an emergency plan in place, obviously, because she is pretty much considered vomit to shock because of what happened. If she would not have perked up and nursed when she did. Now she was tired the next day, but she was pretty much back to herself. If she would not have perked up, I would have ended up having to take her into the hospital, which I wish I would have known what it was back then, because it scares me thinking about what could have happened to her because, oh God, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it at all. It actually makes me want to cry. Puke and cry, that's what I want to do. So, I don't know. I just know that a lot of people don't quite think that this situation is as scary as it is. People are like, oh, food allergy. Oh, okay, get them an EpiPen. No, EpiPen would not work for this. And typically kids who have FPIs have more than one trigger, but I'm hoping she does not. And then we'll have to do food trials where I just have to feed her. This is basically, they can't do allergy tests for this. They can't. There's no test to be done. So basically what you do at home is you say, okay, we're going to trial this food for 7 days. Or however many days the doctor recommends. Most of the stuff I've seen is 7 days. Trial the food for 7 days, and some kids don't get a reaction to it until like the 5th day. And kids who are vomit to shock, you have to have a bag packed. At any time they could become vomit to shock with this. So you have to have a bag packed. Basically, you pack your bag and feed the kid the food and pray you don't have to take them to the hospital. A lot of people say Zofran can help with the vomiting and stuff like that, but I don't know. Brianni did not end up with diarrhea from the oatmeal. Not that I can remember anyway. But either way, it is still a really scary situation, and it really has it's weighing on my mind like all day, every day, because I'm so scared. Like, what if I eat something and it makes her sick, or what if God forbid she gets a hold of I don't know, the kids drop a crumb and she's on the floor or whatever, and I miss the crumb and she picks it up and eats it and has that reaction. Because literally, guys, when I tell you, it does not take much for her to start vomiting from like the oatmeal. Like, it's really scary actually to think about. And a lot of times kids outgrow it between like 3 to 5 years old. But now that scares me when I think about her going to school. Because when I was looking at like the food list that Kegan brought home, everything's no nuts, no peanut butter, no, that kind of stuff. Like, you can't bring in stuff like that. But I'm looking at the stuff that is approved on the snack list, and I'm like, well, what if there's like oats in that stuff? I don't know. It's just going to be a lot of information to take in, and a lot of trialing foods. I'm so scared, and I will not give her baby food until we have a plan in place, because what if I give her a food and she gets severely sick and I take her to the hospital and they don't even know what the hell it is? Because I've seen moms post on this Facebook page that I'm on that they've taken their kid to the hospital and they told them it was a stomach virus. Or the mom takes the kid in and says, hey, my kid has FPIES, and the hospital's like, what is that? No, it's not FPIES. We don't know what FPIES is. It's a stomach virus. Like, I need to know if the hospital's close to us, if they know anything about it. Because if something were to happen to her and I get her in the hospital and they don't know what the hell they're doing, that's a problem. So I'm just really stressing about worrying, and it's weighing on me, and it's affecting me right now a lot. Because I stay up at night and I read stuff and scare myself, because some of these women, like, their kids have severe situations, and I'm like thinking, oh my God, like, I just cannot. It breaks my heart for those kids. It really does. And I'm like hoping and praying that Brianni doesn't have some of those situations, because some of these moms just don't know what to do. It's so sad. It's just so sad. And I know there are people who have bigger problems, and kids, there are sick kids, with other situations and stuff, and I'm not oblivious to that stuff. And I know there could be a million more sicknesses that are like way worse than what hers is. But I've never dealt with anything like this before, ever. Like, I've never had to deal with anything like this. I don't know anyone else whose kid really has had FPIES. I don't know, guys. I'm just a worried mom right now, and it's affecting my mood, my sleep. It's affecting everything, because when you're worried about your kid and you have a reason to worry about your kid, it's anytime your kids are sick or something could be potentially wrong, or, it weighs heavy on the mom, I feel like. You don't want to ever, like, you wish you could trade places with them and just, you have to deal with it, because you don't ever want to see your kids sick or in pain or hurting or anything like that. So, and for me, thinking about these food trials coming up that they're going to probably have us start when she sees the allergist, it's making me want to breastfeed her until she's like 92 years old. Like, not even kidding, because it just has me so, like, my stomach is in knots thinking about it, because I'm like, that situation that we had with her was like scary. When she was vomiting like that was scary. So, and to think about, like, potentially, like, okay, let's trial a food. And I know I have to do it to find out whether she's allergic to other stuff or not. But who wants to just, like, have their child ingest something that could potentially make them go limp and go into shock? And I can't even think about it. It's making me, like, Oh, it's giving me such bad anxiety, and that's what I keep thinking about over and over and over. I really actually think I want to call the allergist and see if they can't get her in sooner. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end this here. This has been the reason why I have not been active on my Instagram much, and I have just been kind of, I don't know. Do I like doing YouTube? Yes. Do I want to put out like decent content for everybody? Yes. But right now, it's hard for my mind to be anywhere else besides on Brianna because of what's going on with her. And while she's not sick now, like she's fine, but I'm just so like worried. I don't know. I think what I'm doing is second guessing myself with everything right now. And I had a therapy appointment on Monday. I got nothing accomplished at that appointment. I didn't even like get to talk to her about setting up a psychiatrist appointment to talk to them about my meds or anything like that, or my medication that I'm on or anything. So, but anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here because she's my cue that I need to get in the house, and I just want to say that I love you all. Thank you for, continuing to support my channel. Come and watch my videos. And if you're new here, welcome. Sorry, this is the first video you clicked on. I'm usually a little more entertaining than this, but I just wanted to share with you what was going on. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell so that you're notified every time I upload, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.